In this episode of The Lab, we'll talk about why clients object. We'll talk about why most of the time it comes down to you and you're the reason that they object. And we'll talk about what clients need to take action. The 3 things clients need to take action. Coming up in The Lab. Hey, Rockstars, I'm JB, expert salesperson and master presenter.
I'm the doctor, psychologist, and behavioral expert.
This is the Entrepreneur Mastery Lab podcast. What is up, everybody? I am JB here of JB and the Doctor. Welcome to the Entrepreneur Mastery Lab, where we have real talk with real professionals. Today, it is just me, myself, and I. It's a conversation between me and you. So maybe it's not just me, myself, and I, come to think of it. It is a conversation between the two of us, even if it's one-sided. I love those conversations, but normally I like to be the one listening. Don't let Doc fool you. He says I talk a lot, but that's just because I talk faster than him, and I have to wait for very pregnant pauses for him to start speaking. That's not on me. That's on Doc. Now, with that said, I am super excited for these quick hit episodes because I got to focus on whatever I want and talk about whatever I want. And a lot of times our guests have amazing insight, but it restricts me because I can't always talk about the things that I want to talk about. So today, lucky you, I get to talk about one of my favorite things, which is managing clients and getting clients to take action, which is actually really much more difficult than people give it credit for. And there's a lot of reasons for this. And it's one of the reasons I think people dislike sales, because they feel like they need to force clients into action when clients aren't ready. But we have to appreciate that 80% of clients aren't ready. Most of the time, clients aren't ready. And somebody who's good at sales is going to simply help that person get to that stage. And it doesn't necessarily happen in one conversation. In fact, in my industry, in the financial services, in my background, and the work that I do, very rarely do people move forward after one conversation. In fact, it can be quite a long line before they get moving. So starting point to finish point could be a real long line, and that's okay. Our goal as salespeople is to walk alongside somebody to help them get from point A to point B, from the start to the end, assuming that there's a problem that they need to solve that you can solve for them. Now, sometimes they might not even be aware of that problem. And that actually goes into why clients are so resistant to change in the first place, and why it's often our fault that clients object. Let's start with that if we can. Okay, why are clients objecting? Why are they resisting advice? Well, they're resisting advice because they are not ready, period. 80% of clients are not ready when they talk to you. That's just statistics. A lot of sales gurus are going to turn around and say, oh, say this, be this way, use these words, and you're going to move them forward. And that's not really true. Ultimately, a client has to go through a journey to get to the point where they're ready to make a change. But very often they are exploring, they're researching, they're doing their diligence, they're finding out what their need really is. They're making sure that they want the solution. And there's very much a process. So only 1 out of 5 people, 20%, are ready to go when you're talking to them. And that's something that we need to understand. We can't force that. But there are things we can do that will help clients along that journey. And ultimately, a client needs 3 things. There's absolutely 3 things a client needs if they're going to move forward and take action. And these are the 3 things you need to help a client with if you want them to move forward and take action. This is not about the words to use. This is about what somebody actually needs to be ready to take action, regardless of what industry you're in or what you're selling. You ready? Here we go. Number 1, the clients need the perception that they need to change. In other words, there are clients out there that need to change, but they don't perceive it that way. They could care less. They don't give a crap if they change. They might know there's a problem. They just don't care about it. That's a lot of times you see that with leaders and leadership, leaders that lead through fear. They know they lead through fear. They know it's toxic, but guess what? They don't care and they do it anyways. That happens a lot more often than you might think. So the first thing you need a client to be, and a client needs, is the perception that they need to change. So they need to perceive that change is necessary. That means they need to be uncomfortable with where they're at. And that discomfort typically is not recent. It's got to be there for a little while. That's number one, the perception of change. Number two is the confidence that they can change. There are many, many people out there that lack the confidence that whatever solution they're looking at is ultimately going to solve the problem. And oftentimes, this is because they make the problem into many problems and they conflate one problem with another problem, or they marry multiple problems together. It's impossible to provide silver bullets to people. It is incredibly important to be able to triage down what the real problem is to make sure that we're offering a solution for that problem and keep a client focused on that problem. If you do that, it's a really effective way to create confidence so a client can move forward. So the first thing a client needs is the perception that they need to change. The second thing they need is the confidence that the solution being offered will help them affect that change and get to where they want to go. The third one sounds obvious, and this brings us full circle back to where we started the conversation, but a client needs to be ready to change. They need to be ready to change, which means they need to have explored options and alternatives and decided that the option of staying put with things as they are, the status quo, is uncomfortable enough that they are now ready to change. So not only do they need the perception, they need the confidence, and they need the readiness. And if you can help a client get to that stage, then they move from the 80% who are unready to make a change into the 20% that are ready to take action. And that is the key to great sales. Doesn't matter what you're selling. That's the key to great sales, is helping clients along that journey and giving them those 3 items so that they can be ready to take action. If you try to speed up this process, you create client resistance. Clients will push against you. They ain't ready. They're just not there. And guess what? It's going to hurt you more than it helps you. So you want to get really good with clients, and you want clients to take action, know what they need, know what the journey looks like, know the statistics, and then work on a process that'll help get them there. Need help with that? Guess what? Just a quick hint. The doc and I help out with that. Something to think about, all right? Now, I normally start these episodes off. I talk about like, subscribe, follow. You've heard it if you listen to our episodes many, many, many times. We're on YouTube. We're on all sorts of social media. You can listen to us here on the podcast. You can see us live. I know my pretty face, not much else to see in this video, but do give us a like, subscribe, follow if you found that this was helpful. The 3 things a client needs to take action and why you are the source of client resistance more often than not. I'm JB. Take advantage of this. Go do something with it. Close more business and help more people. They need your help. Go help them.